Have you ever walked away from a conversation just feeling completely scrambled? Like the world is suddenly tilted and you can't even trust your own mind? Well, today we're going to decode some of the manipulative phrases that are designed to do exactly that. Let's dive in. It usually starts with that quiet little question you ask yourself. Wait, am I imagining things? Did I remember that wrong? Or even, am I going crazy? That feeling, that profound self-doubt, that's a huge red flag. And it's not a sign that something's wrong with you, but a sign that something is being done to you. And there's actually a name for it: gaslighting. It's a really specific and kind of sinister form of psychological manipulation. The whole point isn't just to win an argument. The goal is to make you question the very foundation of your reality, your memory, your perception, your sanity, all so that someone else can control the story. Now, the source for this explainer actually highlights 7 of these red flag phrases. We're going to break down 5 of the most common and honestly most powerful examples, and we'll group them into 3 main categories so you can see exactly how they work. First up, let's talk about the most direct kind of attack, phrases that just flat out deny your reality. These are meant to literally erase your experience and just slot the manipulator's version in its place. And we're starting with one that is just brutally simple and honestly shockingly effective. That never happened. Just a complete and total denial of something you both experienced. So, on the surface, it's just a few words, right? A simple statement. But the goal here is way more sinister. It's a power move. It's designed to completely obliterate your memory and just make their version the only truth. I mean, if something you know for a fact happened is suddenly declared non-existent, where does that leave you? It leaves you confused and seriously questioning yourself. Okay. Now for one that's a little more subtle, but just as damaging. You're remembering it wrong. See, unlike the blunt force of "that never happened," this one almost sounds helpful, doesn't it? Like a gentle correction. But its real purpose is to systematically take apart your confidence in your own mind. They're trying to become the official, reliable narrator of your life, painting you as flawed and maybe a little unstable. All right, let's move to our next category, and you'll see how this stuff builds. This is where the manipulator doesn't just deny reality, they actually make you feel responsible for their own bad actions. A total classic of this is, "You're the reason I act this way." Or, any version of "you made me do it." So the key here is that this phrase is a complete rejection of any personal responsibility. It might sound like they're explaining themselves, but it's really a trap. It forces you into this impossible job of managing their emotions and their behavior. And all of a sudden, their anger, their mistakes, somehow it's all your fault. This final category we're going to look at is maybe the most personal. These phrases don't just deny events or shift blame, they go right after your right to even have feelings about what happened. I think we've all heard this one. You try to explain that you're hurt or upset, and the response you get is, "You're just being too sensitive." This is how they reframe the whole situation. See, the problem is no longer their hurtful behavior. Nope, the problem is your flawed reaction to it. It implies there's some kind of normal way to feel, and you're failing the test. It's just a tactic to completely invalidate your emotions. And here's its close cousin, which usually comes right after some kind of cruel or cutting remark. "I was just joking." Wow, you can't take a joke. This is such a clever and nasty rhetorical weapon. It uses humor as a shield to deliver a blow, and then it shames you for feeling the pain from that blow. So you're left with 2 terrible options: pretend you weren't hurt, or get labeled as the humorless one who ruined the fun. Either way, they get away with it, no accountability at all. Okay, now this is the most important part of this whole explainer, so really lean in here. Any one of these phrases could slip out by accident in a heated moment. The real danger, the real poison, isn't the single phrase, it's the pattern. Think about it, a single comment, that's an incident. But when you're hit with a constant stream of these denials and blame shifts and minimizations, it's not a series of accidents anymore. It is a deliberate strategy, and it's designed to wear down your sense of self. And just look at how this plays out over time. It's relentless. This isn't about having a few bad arguments. It's a constant, dripping tap of psychological manipulation that over time can make you feel like you're literally drowning in self-doubt. This is what breaks a person's reality down. So if any of this is sounding familiar, what's the way forward? Well, it all starts with just recognizing the pattern for what it is and beginning that process of taking back your own perception. The single most powerful thing to take away from all this is simple. Your feelings are valid. Your memories are real. Your reality is not up for debate. Just recognizing the tactic is the first huge step in disarming it. The next is maybe starting to just notice these instances, not to pick a fight, but to solidify your own reality for yourself. And that really leaves us with one final crucial question. In the battle between their attempts to define your world and your own inner voice, whose voice are you going to choose to trust?